which I don't have, and some sort of spline 20, which I also don't have. Great. It's a bit high. You want to know how much all this has cost? Good morning, YouTube. Now I'm actually covering a bit of the Merc that you haven't seen. The last episode you would have seen that the Merc had a silver bumper and a terrible bonnet. Now we actually took it down to First Mercs, their Instagram's on the screen now. We actually took it down to them and they did an unbelievable job. I dropped it off Wednesday, picked it up Saturday morning, and I'm going to show you now of what it looks like, and it looks insane. They've done an amazing job, and not only did they do an amazing job, they've also gave us a full set of AMG struts and springs. So we're going to be putting them on today, and hopefully today is the final day on the Merc, and I can run through the cost of what it's cost me, because I wanted to get this car back to a good resellable condition. After we put these springs on, it's there. So let me just show you the front of the car, and then we'll get on to finishing it up today, go over everything it's cost me, and then we're done. Now I'm just going to warn you now, it's going to be a very hot day today as it was yesterday, so you're probably going to see for the first time in a year a topless Lockwood, because I've not been on a sunbed in so fucking long, right? And I chose today to either sunbathe or do this fucking Merc, and I'm here doing this fucking Merc, so you're going to watch me sunbathe. But let's just show you what the Merc looks like now. Look how good this looks, everyone. Oh my god. So basically they redid all the bonnets. The bonnet had loads of dents in it. It was like, oh, it's just absolutely horrific, to be fair. Huge big scratches. So they filled it all in, repaired it all, painted the bumper, and they matched in the wings, they matched it to the bonnet, they matched it to the A-pills, and I actually made a big gouge here putting the bonnet on, and they fixed that, and it looks absolutely insane. The paint is so good. They actually fixed a little bit of a ding that I had in the wing as well. Drop them a follow, because they have massively helped me out with not only painting the Merc, but giving me these things. And also, because this was a steel bonnet and mine was an aluminium one that came off, they also gave me steel struts. So at the minute when you open the bonnet, it's kind of like weak, so they give me steel struts in the boot to put on for this bonnet, so I don't have to push it all the way up. My guys, First Mercs parts, drop them a follow, but let's get on with this bloody Merc. I actually found a grill off Facebook for 40 quid, and I actually had this old emblem which was in good condition. They just told me that I need to just pull this light back a little bit, because I've got a little bit of a gap there and it's pushing the bumper in here, so I just need to just rotate this light a little bit. But let's get on with this suspension, because this car is so low and it's like riding a fucking bouncy castle. Right, so here are the AMG shocks and springs. Very weird setup. We've got a bolt there and 2 bolts, so it's 3 bolts. I don't know how easy this is going to be. They've cut the drop links off, so we need to just get these off with a gun. Hopefully they just come off with a gun. I'm going to start with the backs, because the backs are by far the worst thing. So let's get the backs done, because honestly it's so bad driving this car the way it sits like this. Mate, why are low cars even a thing, you know? I can easily just go off the diff, but because it's so low, can't get a jack in the diff, so I've got to have one jack on that side and one jack on that side. But now, because you're not meant to jack off these sides, they're just meant for jack stands, I've got nowhere to put the jack stand, so I'm going to have to just do this a little bit dangerously until I can get the back normally and actually just lift it up. So I'm just going to put jack stands underneath as a safety, so if it does drop, it drops on the jack stands, probably just on the bottom arms or something, but I can't put it properly on there because I'll need to drop the lower arms to get the suspension out. So I know it's a little bit naughty, guys, but unfortunately I've got no fucking choice. You can see just up there, it looks like these springs have been cut, so they're definitely shorter than them ones. So I think a coil or two has been cut off them. So awesome job, guys. I hope this isn't as bad as the setup than the Audi, because that was a joke. It doesn't look, it just looked like there's just one bolt going through the back of the hub. But yeah, it doesn't look like the easiest job in the world, because there's tons of fucking trailering arms everywhere. But it doesn't look like it's going to be as bad as the Audi. So let's just get on. Oh, it's a big E-sockets. I fucking pray that I've got them E-sockets. Oh, you bastard. Please be an E20. Oh, no. I think it is an E20, actually. It just needs whacking on. Great. So the first 2 bolts I look at are a E22, which I don't have, and some sort of spline 20, which I also don't fucking have. Great. Thank you, Mercedes. Right, I'm going to have to run around to fill beds. Mate, this is a fucking joke. There's a nut on the other side, and it's like too big to get a socket on, and there's too much shit around it to get a spanner around it. It's just, I think it's like a 20mm spanner. Who has a 20mm spanner? So I've only got like one like this, which is adjustable, but it's too big to go in. Oh, this is the German side of it all. So while we're waiting, I've managed to get the drop link bolts off the bottom, and now there's this big plastic thing which sits on the lower arm like that. And now we can get to the bolt for the bottom of the strut, take the bottom of the strut out, and then we're most of the way then. Right, so we flew round to the garage on the corner. Huge thank you to Phil Baird in Essex. And we've got arrangement of spanners, and I'm knackered because I've just ran. So please, let's just get this fucking bolt off. Right, so there is the bolt out. There's the nut, 20mm it was. So now, with a bar, we should be able to lever this bottom arm down and just pop that spring out. So let's try that. Fuck it out. Okay, so there's the spring difference, and it's been chopped there. So someone's definitely cut the springs. So we've done this side. It's not actually too bad. A little bit fiddly. Definitely seen worse. So I'm going to quickly do the other side. You don't need to do the same thing twice. So these new springs do not look like they fit at all. Like the bottom arm just looks so low. So I'm going to try and jack it up and see if it like seats itself. Now they were hard to come out and they've been obviously been cut. So it must just be a really tight spring setup. I'm going to try and jack up on here and see if it sits nicely. At the minute that's just not sitting nicely at all. Okay, so I've compressed the spring with the jack and it's kind of sitting a lot nicer now. So if you can't see if the light in. So it must just be the case of that these springs just are fucking tight in there. And maybe it's just another case of me always putting lowering springs in, so it's always been, you know, not as tight. Never really put a car back to standard. I've usually spent most of the time making it lower, not higher. But once I've jacked it up, it's all kind of lined up nice, so I think that's how it's supposed to go. Guys, this is a fucking joke. This is literally like the Audi. Trying to get that bolt line up at the back is just a fucking nightmare. It's just like, it's always on a different slant to the other side. And I've been on there fucking like half an hour now. I've cut all my up, mate. German cars are so fucking shit to work on, mate, honestly. But I've managed a way to get it all both on jack stand, so I've got the bigger jack. So hopefully when I jack this up all the way, it levels out. But I've got the bolt in half the way, but there's just no way it's lining up on this side. No way. Okay, so with the big jack, I've managed to get this high enough. Like that's under so much compression, that spring, holy shit. And you've got to get it up really high for this bolt to fit through nicely. But nonetheless, all the bolts are in now, so you tighten this one down. Put the drop link in, then do the other side. Actually, I'm going to leave the drop link till last, otherwise if I bolt that in, it's going to be freaking out the other side, so let's leave that. But Jesus Christ, mate. Oh, God. Right, that was an absolute pain. But we've got both sides back on. Many cuts, many dirts. But I'm going to put the wheels on. See how it sits. It's a bit fucking high. Well, at least it'll drive nice.
It's very high.
That's very high, isn't it, John?
Doesn't look right to me.
That doesn't look right to me either.
You need to take those little 14-inch wheels off and put some decent wheels on it.
The front goes up, level it out. When the front goes up.
Yeah, I think.
A little bit, and it's got to settle a bit.
Yeah, it has got to settle.
Get a nice set of 22s.
What size wheel nuts then, John?
22.
What size wheel nuts are they? 17? Sweet, no worries.
It doesn't look very good.
Mate, there's something wrong with that.
But to be fair, it didn't look very good before.
No, it didn't.
When it was
That's way too high. It's off an AMG, but I thought they'd be lower. Unless they're bigger to get the wheels on them.
maybe.
I don't really know about that. Hopefully they'll sell. We'll do the fronts, and we'll see if the fronts is that much of a difference. If the fronts are that high, then it's meant to be that high. But unless there's something wrong, like, I mean, to be fair, like it has been used to sit, I've had to like force it in that position because obviously it's been used to having them tiny springs in. But, I mean, obviously MG wheels are like 18, 19 inch, so. Don't know, let's do the fronts. Hopefully it's going to be easier than that because it's just all one unit, hopefully. Fucking hell. And then let's see how it sits, see how high it sits on the front. To be fair, now I've got the front in the air. They're sitting back a little bit now. So it should sit like that, which I'm okay with. So I'm gonna go Sainsbury's because we all know I get fucking hungry when I eat a big bottle of water as well. Fucking hell, at least I'm getting a tan though. Right, here we go. Got the wheels off. We're gonna get these struts out now. Hopefully this is easier. We've got the 2 bolts. Okay, so we've got the 2 bolts there going onto the hub. And then we've got, okay, so it's not too bad. We've got a bolt here and then 2 bolts. So the hub's like a bit of a banana shape. and it comes up. So we've got 3 bolts going onto the hub. Strange, but there is. Hopefully these drop links just gone out. Obviously I know they need to settle because they've had no weight in them and stuff, but I'm not really a huge believer of struts of springs settling that much. Like you say, there's just 3 bolts going to the hub, so boom, 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 pull the hub out, slide that down, push it in, 3 bolts at the top, drop links. Pretty simple. So far this is miles easier. It is literally just some 3 bolts, and the drop link just gunned off and pretty much loose now. So obviously just do it on 3 bolts from the top. And just like that, guys, we're done. There was a little bit that was a little bit weird, so they actually have like a if you have a look, like they actually have like a plastic sort of which connects all the wires together. It kind of spins inside and clips around there, which is really weird if you've never seen one before, and I haven't seen one before. Well, nonetheless, we're all on. We're all on. We're gonna now the front wasn't actually as low as the back, so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna put the wheels on and drop it and see what it looks like. I'm a little bit concerned about the back, but let's just put it on the floor, and we'll actually put it on here, which is like level ground. Because at the minute it's definitely not level ground, and just see if it settles, or just like boom. Normally in a situation like that when you take the handbrake off it settles, but it hasn't, so strange. But let's put these wheels on. Why is the back so high? Like seriously, why is the back so high? I'm actually a little bit worried about that. Like, I don't understand why the back is so high. Like there's something wrong. That's normal. That isn't. That really isn't so normal. I don't understand. Let's just drive it flat on this bit and see what it looks like there. So everybody, they're on. Now it is abnormally high in the back. I've actually googled it. I've had quite a lot of people saying the same thing, but we're going to take it for a proper drive, see if it settles, leave it a couple of days, see if it settles. If it doesn't, I've already spoke to Liam at Merck's Parts, and they said that they'll change the springs over for me. I think that's what they were saying, from another one that they've got. And they just sent me a picture of the one that they've got in braking, and it is lower than this one. So they said they'll change them over if it hasn't settled. But for now, we're pretty much done. We're obviously going to do an oil change and some boring things, but I don't really need to show you guys that. You want to know how much all this has cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Auto Trader right now and enter this car, this year, this colour, this mileage, and see what the cheapest one on Auto Trader is going for. So on Auto Trader right now, I've put white Merc 2011, 100,000 miles, diesel, exactly this car. What, you know, the cheapest one on Auto Trader right now is £7,000. £7,000 for a white one, 2011. £7,000. Now what did I spend on this? So I bought the car for £1,800. The radiator, the slam panel, and the intercooler, or yeah, like the rad pack and the slam panel and all that sort of stuff, and the lights was £550. The bumper I got cheap for £75. The bonnet I also got cheap because it was in bad condition for £100. Now the paint, obviously I did a little bit of a deal with Merck's Parts, so I actually got it for 250 quid for the paint, but they said it would usually cost around about 360 to do what they did. So I'm going to add what I've paid. The shocks and all the springs, they were £140. And the last thing was the grill. The grill I got for £40. So that's a total of £2,955. Now, although it is a Cat N, let's just say a Cat N might take 20% of the original price off. So let's do 7,000 times 0.2, 1,400. So 7,000 minus 1,400. I should realistically sell this car for £5,600. Which would make a profit of £2,645. If I wanted to buy this car as a Cat N, I would have lost out on £2,600. That's the whole thing. So I spent just under £3,000 buying this car and buying everything for it. £3 grand for a £7 grand car. So obviously behind the scenes I'm going to do a little bit more stuff to it. So I'm going to do an oil change, I'm going to clean it out, and we've not got a reg in it at the minute. That's because I'm going to keep it, I'm going to put my private plate on, so there's no point in me getting a new set of plates for that. That's the end of the video. I think this is going to be the end of the Merc series. I may do like another little video as well of the Merc, but hopefully that settles. If not, we'll be taking it down to Merc parts, but at least now I'll be able to drive it like a normal car, not like a fucking bouncy castle. So I hope you enjoyed this series, guys. I'm going to carry it on. They're saying I should carry it on as well, because, you know, even I was doing it to sell the cars, there's good profit in it as well. So there she is, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this series. After I've been driving with it literally just around the corner, it's literally settled now. Well, almost. So over the next few days it'll be even better. But I just want to say a huge thank you to these guys, Phil Baird, for lending me the tools. They're oh fuck, I'm driving. They're always eager to help when it comes to lending me stuff. So huge thank you to them. Is that my car? Don't think so.